If you've been waiting for a buyer's market while looking at homes for sale in Telluride or homes for sale in Mountain Village, I need you to stop waiting because that moment is already here. Let me explain. It's not everywhere, it's not in every price range, it's not in every product type, but it is here, it is real. And if you're sitting on the sidelines right now thinking the window hasn't opened yet, you're missing that window right now. We talk to people every single day who've been priced out of the market or who made the decision to wait or who are watching from the sidelines just trying to figure out the right moment. And this video is for you because the moment is now if you know where to look. At the same time, and equally important, something else obviously is happening in this market. It's a wave of new development and legacy inventory steadily, quietly setting a new ceiling on what Telluride real estate and Mountain Village real estate trades for. And this new ceiling is dramatically higher than anything the market has ever seen before, which means the existing product is sitting below that ceiling, the negotiable product, the product where buyers have real leverage right now, is not going to stay like that forever. This market is splitting, and understanding which side of that split you're on determines everything about your strategy right now as both a buyer and as potentially a seller. Now let's talk about what is actually happening in the data, because the headlines and brokerage reports don't really tell the full story. In the first quarter of 2026, San Miguel County recorded 97 residential transactions. Now that's down 8% from the same period last year. Dollar volume, well, $197 million, up 9%. Fewer transactions, but more dollars per deal. Then April came and it confirmed that same trend. And then in May, it confirmed the same trend again. Year to date though, through May, we have logged 159 sales countywide. This is down 11% in transaction count, but dollar volume is up 4%, $330 million year to date. Now here's what the data is telling all of us. This market is not producing more deals. It's producing bigger deals though. This only happens in a market where the top end is carrying significant weight and where the rest of the market is recalibrating. Both of those things are true right now. Now let's talk about what's actually moving the needle on dollar volume. It's two things happening at the same time. Legacy homes coming to the market very rarely, and new construction closing at price points that this county just doesn't record very often or ever before. On the legacy side, 133 Victoria Drive in Mountain Village, $17.5 million, $15.40 per square foot. 127 East Columbia, town of Telluride, $15.9 million, over $2,700 per square foot. 127 East Columbia, town of Telluride, $15.9 million, closed at $2,706. Let's talk about 545 West Columbia, the town of Telluride, an $8.67 million sale at over $2,200 a foot. These are not necessarily new builds. They are generational properties, estates that rarely, if ever, come to the market, and they are trading at numbers that reset the conversation about what this market is worth. Now on the new construction side, 653 East Pandora, town of Telluride, $14.3 million. It just closed last week at over $3,600 a square foot. Also new construction, 731 Shadow Lane, again in the town of Telluride, $8.9 million at over $2,900 a foot. In Mountain Village on Cortina, $1,800 a foot at $10.1 million. Russell Drive, another new construction, $2,160 a foot, $8.5 million. Now here's an important part of the conversation. Every one of these transactions closed below its asking price. Some by a small margin, some by even more. Even at the top of this market, buyers are negotiating. These are not full price transactions. Sometimes they can be record-setting price per foot numbers and very impressive numbers, but they've still come with a haircut off of the ask. Big deals are carrying this market, but they're not immune to the split. And none of what I'm talking about includes what's coming. The Four Seasons Resort and Residences in Mountain Village is 40% pre-sold in hard earnest money contracts, non-refundable, averaging $4,100 per foot. And this is the new ceiling being constructed right now. I'm not talking about mere asking prices. I'm talking about committed capital. When this project delivers and when these closings do hit the MLS, the reference point for this entire market shifts. Everything below it moves up with it. So this is the window and it's open right now. Okay, so where's this buyer's market? Let's be specific. Existing condos, properties built in the 90s or early 2000s that have not been significantly repositioned. These are selling with real concessions, discounts of 5 to 15% off asking price on actual closed transactions this year. These are not distressed sales. They are just normal sellers who listed at one price and accepted another price eventually, because the buyers in that segment have real options right now and the sellers know it. Properties that are sitting, properties that are priced as if it's still 2022, 2023, 2024, sellers who have not adjusted to where the market actually is for their product type in 2026. This is where the leverage is, and that is the buyer's market. If you're a buyer looking in the $1 to $3 million range, particularly in Mountain Village condos, particularly in mid or older product, you have real negotiating power right now that has not existed since before 2021. You are not competing against multiple offers anymore. You are not waiving inspections. You have time, you have options, and you have leverage on the table. And that is the definition of a buyer's market. And that is what's wide open right now. If you want to go deeper on where the real entry points and where the real most significant discounts are actually happening, download our buyer's guide or join our newsletter directly. The link is in the description. Okay, now let's be precise about where the buyer's market is and where it is less. Even premium product is recalibrating. Every major transaction I just walked you through closed below its asking price, some by 1 or 2%. 127 East Columbia came in at 9% below ask. These are not small numbers in dollar terms, but here's the distinction that matters. We are talking about 1 to 9% adjustment on properties closing at $2,700, $3,600 per square foot. And that's a very different conversation than 5 to 15% haircuts on older product trading at, say, as low as $800 to $1,300 per square foot in the $1 to $3 million range. The degree of recalibration tells you everything about your leverage. A 3% discount on a 3,600 square foot property is not the same buyer's market as 15% discount on an 800 square foot property. Both are negotiating, but one segment is recalibrating hard at the edges and the other is giving ground in the middle. If you're shopping in the new construction category, move decisively. This market is not waiting for you. If you're shopping in existing product, negotiate. This market is negotiable and it can wait. Now, I want to say something briefly about the difference between the town of Telluride and the town of Mountain Village, because they are distinct markets within the same county. Year to date through May, the town of Telluride average transaction is $3.6 million. That's up 54% from the same period last year. Mountain Village is averaging $1 million. Town is more expensive. It has been more expensive historically for the most part. There are 50 residential listings on the market as of early June in the town of Telluride right now. 50. That is not a lot of inventory for a market of this caliber. The buyer's market I described, the negotiable segment, exists on both sides of the ski resort, but it lives more heavily in Mountain Village, particularly in condominium inventory. That new ceiling being set by legacy sales and new construction products exists, but the Four Seasons in Mountain Village is doing the heaviest lifting on that forward ceiling. If you are specifically focused on one versus the other, that is a conversation worth having directly because the strategy does differ. Okay, and I want to say something to potential sellers watching this. If you own something that genuinely competes in the premium segment, new construction, move-in ready, polished turnkey product, truly scarce location, exceptional condition, then yes, price with confidence. This market does reward that. Buyers at the top are selective, but they are decisive for the right property. And when the right product comes to the market at the right price, it moves. If you own something in the existing inventory segment, older product, condos with competition, anything anywhere where a buyer has a lot of options and the product isn't absolutely perfect, price for 2026, not 2022. Those numbers are gone. The sellers who are sitting right now, sometimes for over a year, are almost always sitting because they are priced for a market that just doesn't exist anymore for their product type. The deals are available, the buyers are there, but the price has to reflect where the market actually is today, not where it was. The good news though, even at current market pricing, you are likely to sell at a price that was unimaginable before COVID. The market has moved enormously, but pricing to current reality is not losing. It's just simply the difference between closing and not closing. Here's why I keep saying now and not later. Buyers in this market in existing product exist because the gap between where that product is priced and where the new ceiling has been set. This gap is real right now, but it's not permanent. Think about what's in motion. Legacy estates closing at 15, 17.5 million. If we look at last summer, in the high 20 millions, even 39 million. New construction closing at 2,900 and 3,600 per square foot in the last few months. And coming down the road, the Four Seasons, hard interest money with contracts at 4,100 per square foot on average, 40% committed pre-sold to be delivered around 2028. Four Seasons closings have not hit the MLS yet, and the inventory isn't necessarily all in the MLS. But when they do, 4,100 per square foot becomes recorded in sales data. The baseline for this entire market, of course, moves up with it. The existing product that is negotiable today will not always be negotiable when the market is absorbed a building full of closings at $4,100 per square foot. And the likelihood of Mountain Village remaining significantly less expensive than the town of Telluride will likely go away as well. So that's the window. It's a gap between where the market is right now and where it's obviously going. The capital is already committed. The earnest money is already non-refundable. 40% pre-sales, and the ceiling is being built. It's just yet to be recorded. So if you've been on the sidelines waiting for your moment, this is your moment. The leverage is real. We've been able to see it all year long, all of 2026. The window is open now, but we all know windows close. If you want to know specifically where the opportunity is for your situation, whether you are buying or whether you are selling, in town, in Mountain Village, in the general area outside of the towns, this is exactly what Ryan and I do. The link in our description gets you to our buyer's guide or our seller's guide, and that starts the conversation. That's the summer market. The split is real. The window is open. Now let's talk about what it means for you, your goals, and your situation. Okay, now before I sign off, let me tell you who you're talking to. I'm Jonathan Yaseen. My brother Ryan and I are the Yaseen Brothers at Telluride Properties, Forbes Global Properties. We grew up in these mountains. We choose to live here still, raise our families here, and we are working this market every single day with buyers and sellers, tracking what's going on a daily basis. Everything I walked you through today came from real data, real transactions, and real conversations with people navigating this exact market today. So here's how we can help, depending on who you are. And if you're ready to talk, whether you're a buyer trying to figure out where the real leverage actually is, or if you're a seller trying to understand where your property sits in this split, book a call directly with Ryan or myself. The link is in the description. No pressure, just a real conversation about your specific situation. And if you're not quite ready for a conversation, sign up for our market newsletter. Same link below. We send real data, real analysis, no fluff. And when the market moves, you'll know about it before most people do. And if you're just here to quietly keep track of the Telluride market and the Telluride lifestyle, not ready for any dialogue just yet, that's completely okay too. We just invite you to like or share this video with a friend or family member who's been thinking about this market, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss what's happening and what's coming next. I'm Jonathan Yaseen. See you in the next one.